Adapted from The Tiger in the Tunnel by Ruskin Bond. The first time I saw a train, I was standing on a wooded slope outside a tunnel, not far from Kalka. Suddenly, with a shrill whistle and a great burst of steam, a green and black engine came snorting out of the blackness. I turned and ran to my father. "A dragon!" I shouted. "There's a dragon coming out of its cave!" Since then, steam engines and dragons have always inspired the same sort of feelings in me: wonder, awe, and delight. Even now, when I see a train coming round the bend of a hill, or crossing a bridge, or cutting across a wide flat plain, I feel the same sort of innocent wonder that I felt as a boy. Small wayside stations have always fascinated me. I remember such a stop on a line that went through the Terai forests near the foothills of the Himalayas. At about 10 at night, the station watchman lit his kerosene lamp and started walking up the tracks. "Where are you going?" I asked. "To see if the tunnel is clear," he said. "The overland mail comes in 20 minutes. I accompanied him along the track, which led to the tunnel. Every night, the watchman walked through the dark tunnel and then stood outside to wave his lamp to the oncoming train as a signal that the track was clear. If the engine driver did not see the lamp, he would stop the train. Having inspected the tunnel, we stood outside waiting for the train. The sounds of the forest came to us. The belling of a sambar deer and the cry of a jackal told us that perhaps a tiger or a leopard was on the prowl. The watchman stood outside the tunnel listening to that faint jungle sounds which only he could identify and understand. Something made him stand very still for a few moments, looking into the darkness, and I knew that everything was not as it should be. "There is something in the tunnel," he said. I could hear nothing at first, but then there came a continuous sound, just like the sound made by someone sawing through the branch of a tree. "Bagheera," whispered the watchman. He had said enough to enable me to recognize the sound of a leopard trying to find its mate. "The train will be coming soon. We must drive the animal out, or it will be run over," he said. "Do not be afraid. I know this leopard well. We have seen each other many times. He has a weakness for stray dogs and goats, but he will not harm us." He gave me his small hand axe to hold and, raising his lamp high, started walking into the tunnel, shouting at the top of his voice to try and scare away the animal. I followed close behind him. We had gone about 20 yards into the tunnel when the light from the lamp fell on the leopard. He was crouching between the tracks, only about 20 feet from me. He bared his teeth in a snarl and went down on his belly, tail twitching. I thought he was going to spring. The Khalasi and I shouted together. Our voices rang and echoed through the tunnel. And the leopard, uncertain as to how many humans were in there with him, turned swiftly and disappeared in the darkness. We walked until the end of the tunnel without seeing the leopard again. As we returned to the entrance of the tunnel, the rails began to hum, and we knew the train was coming. And then the engine came round the bend, hissing at us, scattering sparks into the darkness as it roared through the steep sides of the cutting. It charged straight at the tunnel and into it, thundering past us like the beautiful dragon of my dreams.